welcome to Power Through Launch, third quarter 2025. I'm Lynette Schaefer, and we are super delighted to have you be tuning into our training today. So we have 3 new products along with a few line extensions ranging from exit signs to luminaires to lamps, as you can see here on the screen. So first up, we have the value class exit and emergency light featuring round and square heads, the running man, 1 and 2 heads for indoor and 1 or 2 heads for outdoor. They are available in either white or gray finish, and options include remote capable or self-diagnostics. Now, I do have the older style ones, but they look pretty much the same. We actually have these in stock now, the new ones, but I don't have them for this training. But at any rate, these are basically what we're talking about, as you can see on the screen too. Now, these new ones will operate in 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, except for the outdoor ones. Those are actually going to go all the way down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit and still up to 104 degrees. They do also have a built-in 6 kV of surge protection. These are FCC RoHS, backed by our 5-year trusted warranty, and also UL certified. So let's talk a little bit more about the features, starting with the impressive installation flexibility. So you have both the red and the green lettering that are included in the box. It's actually just a little thing on the back here, looks something like that, all right? And they also have universal mount for either wall or ceiling. Also available is the running man. This is new to us. So the running man exit sign provides more of a universal communication, and it's really right now being primarily used in Canada. But the idea behind the running man versus, say, just letters is that it's been determined that a pictogram is a clearer form of communication across many languages and cultures. So we may eventually start seeing more of the running man into the US as well. Additionally, with these exit signs and emergency lights, there is a dummy load resistor installed at the remote head terminals during the factory setup, and this basically just prevents a fault flash in case no remote heads are connected. So if you do install a remote head, all you have to do is just simply remove the dummy load resistor and then connect the compatible remote head. It's that easy, okay? Now, speaking of remote compatibility or capable, the combo units specifically come with that remote capability and also self-diagnostics. That's a lot different from the exit signs and emergency lights that we've had in the past. Just so you know, we are still keeping the standard exit and emergency lights that we've had. And again, those do not feature that remote capability and the self-diagnostics, but we will have these new ones, which is amazing, that feature both of those. So the exit signs come with that self-diagnostic only. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to have remote capability on exit signs. There is a 2-watt max on the remote heads. Exit signs do run at 3.6 volts to remain under the 2 watts, even though the max output of the remotes are greater. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Also, as we start moving into the LEDVANCE value class emergency lights, they also feature that self-diagnostics and the remote capability. A dummy load resistor is installed at the remote head terminals, just like the ones I just talked about. That happens during the factory setup. And again, that prevents that fault flash in case no remote heads are connected. And again, you are going to have to install or remove that dummy load resistor and connect the capable or compatible remote head in the event that you do add that remote head to it, okay? The remote heads are available in both indoor and outdoor options. The outdoor is suitable for wet location. 2-watt max on the remote heads. Emergency lights, again, run at 3.6 volts to remain under that, even though the max output of the remote is greater, just like the other ones. Now, as far as how far away you can mount these, distance it really does matter. So you've got to make sure you kind of keep that in mind. So if you're using 22 gauge single, you basically are at 1.2 watts, and that's about 16.4 feet. If you are using 22 gauge double, that would be 2.4 watts. You would be at about 8.2 feet. If you're using 18-aught single gauge, you are going to be at about 1.2 watts, 42 feet, and the double will be at about 20.7 feet. So just kind of keep that in mind when you are installing the remote heads. Now, these distances are based on 3.6 volt DC output with an allowable voltage drop of 5% and also standard copper wire as well. Here you're going to find all the NAID codes that you may need, along with the QR code, so that you can log in and see additional specifications that you may be interested in. Next up is the string lights, as you can see behind me. This is the string light generation 2. This is for temporary lighting. This is really great for construction sites, unfinished interiors, other areas where temporary light is required. These are RoHS FCC ETL IP65 TAA compliant and are backed by a 5-year trusted warranty. The 100-foot 18-gauge cord comes with a straight plug. It also comes with 10 lamps, and it produces about 16,000 lumens at 130 watts and up to 123 lumens per watt. Additional features include the ability to link up to 40 lights or 40 sets. Remember, each set is 10 lights, so you can link up to 4 sets, which it will equate to 40 lights. It does include the pre-installed hook to hang the light, which makes install and removal really simple. The max pipe size is about 10 millimeters, so 0.4 inches, just shy of a half inch or so. However, straps can be used to help secure the string lights if needed. That's up to the installer. Also, these do have sort of a frosted polycarbonate lens, and that basically just helps reduce that harsh glare. This product is also tested for 168 hours of UV resistance at 60°C, and that basically just confirms its suitability for outdoor applications under standard conditions. I'm going to go ahead and flip these things on. I know this is probably going to blind the camera. I don't know how well it will show, but we'll give it a try and see what it looks like if I can do that. All right, so perfect for temporary light. So pretty bright, honestly. I'm here by them, but they're not like overly glaring that you would expect to have, okay? Now our string light Gen 2 NAID code or item number is a 66574. And of course, scan the QR code to access the spec sheet as well. Next up is a brand new performance class linear slot. So many of you may already be familiar with our value class slots, but as we compare these side by side, the new performance class has a lot more features, which makes it really kind of stand out compared to the one that you see that is the value class. Some of these features include things like the dual selectability, the DLC 5.1 standard when using the Opal lens, and the DLC premium when you use the louver lens. There's also a Title 24 option along with an EMBB. There's also sensor options. There's more installation options. There's more customization options and way more options for direct and indirect light distribution too. So as we talk a little bit more about the performance class linear slot, it is ideal for indoor ambient lighting as well as general lighting applications. This is great for areas such as offices, hospitality areas, lobbies, common spaces, meeting rooms, even retail spaces would really do a nice job. This product would do a nice job lighting those up. Now, this product does provide flexibility and versatility with its 2-foot, 4-foot, and 8-foot lengths, and it is also offered in a direct light only or a direct indirect. What we mean by that is direct means that all the light's going to come out the bottom, and indirect or direct means that it is going to come out the top. So indirect means out the top, direct means out the bottom. So you have a lot of options with this, whether you want direct only or direct indirect. Now it is wattage selectable and CCT selectable. And for the direct indirect models, it has a little switch that you'll see here that allows you to select the various light levels too. So there's actually 3 switches total. The 2-foot does come up to be about a 10, 15, and 20 watt package. The 4-foot comes in a 20, 30, and 40 watt package. And then the 8-foot version has a 40, 60, and 80 watt. Now, all of these are all 120, 347. They are all going to be 0 to 10 volt dimming. They are going to have a CRI of 90 plus. Each has 5 CCT selector options from 27, 3,000, 35, 4,000, and 5,000 K. There's also 3 finishes that you can choose from. There's the white, like I'm holding. There's also black. And then there's also a silver option, which will be available by purchase to order only. Now, the performance class linear slot meets DLC 5.1 standard with an Opal lens and premium with the louver lens. These are also ETL for Canada and US. They are FCC or /ICES. They are also RoHS. They come with a trusted NLB warranty of 5 years, also Title 24 for California. And also specifically for Title 24, we have an option as a purchase to order with a max CCT of 4,000 K, which are the requirements that you sometimes can get with the Title 24 product. Now, key features for the direct indirect includes, as I mentioned, the 3 switches located on the exterior of the luminaire. And these switches basically allow you to choose from your 5 CCTs, your 3 wattages, in addition to selecting your light distribution. Your light distribution can be 100%, 0%, 70-30, 50-50, 30-70, or 0-100. So lots of different options, whether you're looking for indirect, direct, or a combination of both, you've got it. Now, this does allow you to really customize the space, which ensures both productivity and also comfort. For instance, if you think about an office, you want a well-lit office, you may want to use maybe a direct luminaire for workstations, and then maybe for the common areas, you might want to go with an indirect luminaire, or maybe a combination of both. Now, when you dim this product, the dim level will be consistent for both the up and the down. This product does come standard with a pre-installed Opal PMMA lens, which of course the PMMA lens is really known for its lightweight, its durability, and also its optical clarity. However, there are many other lenses to choose from, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Now, the body of the luminaire is made of aluminum and iron. You might be thinking, why are we talking about this? Well, we're talking about this because those materials are known for their lightweight, their corrosion resistance, their strength and durability, all positive things, right? There are also several knockouts located on the top of the luminaire, which really helps with the ease of installation. Multiple knockouts enables electricians to basically choose the most suitable entry point for wiring based on the layout of the space and the placement of the electrical components. Now, speaking of installation, each of the direct, indirect luminaires come with a standard, simple suspended mount. And of course, because the indirect light module is there, it is recommended to install this in either a suspended or a wall mount application. So if you're getting the one with the indirect light module, it only would make sense to, most likely suspend it. Otherwise, you're not going to get any use out of it, right? Now, some additional key features of the direct indirect slot is that it is fully customizable through either MTO or LSOD. That could include adding an EMBB or a sensor or a lot more things. It is also offered in 3 different finishes. You've got white, black, and silver. The silver will be purchased to order. It does come in 120 to 347 volts, 3 sizes, your 2-foot, your 4-foot, and your 8-foot. And you can connect the luminaires together to provide longer runs with a max of 600 watts. Now, the direct light provides a 110-degree non-directional light one with the Opal lens, and the indirect light has a 120-degree non-directional light. We also have sustainability in mind with this product. The replacement uplight module, which is basically this one right here, you can see it, okay? This one here is a module that is available through warranty. So if it fails for some crazy reason, replacements are available for this, and replacements are available also for the driver, which of course, both of those things minimizes having to get an entire new luminaire, because everything can be easily switched in the field, and you can update either the driver and or the light module, or both if you need to. So really neat feature of this product. So let's talk a little bit now about the direct light version. Now, this is very similar to the one I just talked about, which was the direct indirect. It has the same lens, it has the same housing material, it has the same knockouts available. There are also still those 3 switches to control the CCT and the wattage, and that 3rd switch that controls the direct indirect on the other model, that is not functional. So although the direct model will come with the 3 switches, the direct model doesn't have the ability to choose between indirect direct because it's the direct model. So although it has a 3 switch, it's just not functional. Now this could, if you wanted to, convert into an indirect direct light version if needed. And then of course, that's why you would need the 3rd switch. So that's why the 3rd switch will be on there. So in the event that you're like, oh man, I really wish I had the indirect, we can add that, which is perfect. You can do that in the field. Additionally, since this does not have an indirect light module, this luminaire will come with not only the simple suspended mount kit, but it also has the simple ceiling mount kit, which is really intended for concrete applications. Also, this direct version can be wall, recessed, surface, or suspended mount. Now, as far as similarities between the direct and indirect, and the direct only versions is that they are both available in that 2 foot, 4 foot, and 8 foot versions. Okay. They can be connected, and remember, they can go up to 600 watts. These are also offered in that 120 to 347, just like the other models. These are also available in the 3 finishes, the white, the black, and of course the silver being PTO. The beam angle for the direct light is 110 degrees, non-directional, via standard opal lens. And then there are many MTO options like the EMBB and sensors, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And of course, we can't forget about the ability to replace the components in the field like you could on the other one as well. Now we do offer this again, like I said, in 3 lengths, the 2 foot, the 4 foot, and the 8 foot. Just please note the performance class linear slot, this new one is not compatible with the value class slot. So the one that we've had, the value class slot, they're not in interconnection, okay? There's no compatibility at all with them. So just keep that in mind. Also, as mentioned, both the direct indirect and the direct models are available in that 2 foot and 8 foot, and they are roughly about 3.15 inches tall and about 2.44 inches wide. So it's a nice, clean, slender looking slot, okay? Now, a couple of other things. The direct and the direct indirect luminaires come with the simple suspended mount kit included in the box. The cable length for that is 4.16 feet. For the direct luminaires, there is a simple surface mounting kit included as well. Now, when it comes to controls, the performance class linear slot features standalone and network lighting control options via MTO. This does include LEDVANCE's Link network lighting control solution, as well as Lutron Vive, and also standalone PIR sensors. The sensors will be integrated into the end cap, which will replace basically the end cap of the existing luminaire, which you can kind of see in the slide here. Now, each control bracket is approximately 3 inches long, so you've got to make sure to account for that extra length and when you're doing your design. Each control bracket will come in all 3 finishes to match the luminaire, of course. It only makes sense. And each one is intended to have a discrete installation without having a sensor like protruding out. It looks very clean at the end of the day. Now, for more information about the amazing benefits of Link and for additional information on the parameters of the sensors being offered, please refer to our spec sheet for more details, which will give you a link to that here at the end of this particular section. Let's talk a little bit about linking the luminaires together. Now, you can mix and match lengths to reach your optimal run. Just be sure to not exceed 600 watts. So to make the connections, you simply unscrew the end caps on the luminaires to connect. Then you remove the lens and then unlock the LED module and remove the board. The bracket will then be placed inside and screwed into place, and then basically you kind of lock it in, okay? Be sure to also secure the clasp on the top as well. You'll notice that when you go to install it. And then what you do is you just connect the luminaire via the quick terminals and reattach all the components that were removed. Moving on to the EMBB. When ordered with an EMBB, it is integrated into the luminaire. This discrete installation preserves the modern look of the slot without any disruption of the visible orange battery. Note that these are only available in 4 foot and 8 foot. So you cannot put an EMBB into a 2 foot because the EMBB is just too large. It won't fit. The test switch for the battery is integrated into the end cap, and then the end cap will be replaced with one that has that test switch in it, and it'll be all integrated. So it'll look really nice at the end of the day. Now, if you are using this in a recessed installation, there will be an option to place a test switch into the ceiling rather than the end cap, but that will need to be specified at the time of ordering the MTO version for the EMBB. So just make sure you note that if it is recessed, you will need to make sure you include that when you're ordering it. So we make sure we keep that test button out so you can put it in the ceiling. Now, end caps will also be available in all three finishes to match the luminaire as well. So next up is accessories. We're going to be reviewing the connector pieces first. We have connector pieces that will provide numerous options for creating unique patterns that can customize easily for your project needs. 5 connector shapes, as a matter of fact. There's the T, the L, the X, the Y, and the V. Each is available in all 3 finishes. And note that the connectors are all going to be 100% downlight, directional, downlight, down. All right. There's no uplight module at all. There's no indirect light option for any of the connectors. Now, each has quick connecting terminals internally that will help kind of simplify the easy installation process. The wires associated with the CCT are in a separate quick terminal, so there is no need to set the CCT adjustments on the connector piece. It's just going to follow the piece that it's connected to. That makes it pretty easy. Same for the wattage selectability. With these connectors, you can make various patterns such as a square, a rectangle, a grid, a honeycomb, hexagons, zigzag, and a lot more, which is pretty neat that you can do all of these really cool shapes and so forth. As we move into mounting options of the direct indirect performance slot, there are many options. There is a simple suspension mount kit with each luminaire. Keep in mind, it does not include cable management options. A suspended mounting kit for a power feed and a suspended mount kit for a non-power feed ends are also available. With the components in these kits, you will be able to install it into different types of ceiling materials, whether you're installing into a drywall, concrete, or wooden frames. We've got you covered. Additionally, there is a suspended mount kit into a T-grid system available as well. Now, this kit will include the power feed and the non-power feed ends together, and also available are the canopies in both square shape, and all the shapes will be offered in all 3 finishes to match the luminaire. And just remember, that's the white, the black, and then of course that silver will be purchased to order. Next, we are moving on to the surface mount options. A basic surface mounting kit is available with all the direct light luminaires intended for concrete ceilings. There are 2 kits for surface mounting, including the wooden frames, the drywall, and the concrete ceilings. The first kit is available for screws, different screws for different materials. So the kit that you get for, maybe a concrete is going to be different for something else. So just make sure you kind of keep in mind that different screws will be offered based on different materials. The second kit is the power feed kit. And then, of course, another surface mount kit option is for T-grid ceilings. The T-grid will be compatible with both the 15, 16-inch and the 9/16 ceilings. There are 2 different brackets included in the kit to accommodate the system type as well. So important things to note as well. There's also 2 versions for T-grid recess mounting. So for instance, to do a side installation, meaning putting the brackets over the top of the luminaire so that the longer lengths of the product hook into the T-grid rails. Just remember to note the number of brackets will vary based on the length of the product. The bracket has markings to indicate which T-grid system that the brackets are set to. And if you'd like to adjust it to be compatible with, say, your certain width of the T-grid, of the ceiling, that can be easily done in the field with just a little thing that you see here, the adjustable, that can be adjustable. So kind of neat to have that feature too. Customization in the field is always handy. Now, the other version of the T-grid installation is the front installation. This means that the end caps preset onto the linear slot, and then they are removed and replaced with these end caps, and the product will then be mounted front to back on the shorter ends with the T-grid system. Of course, some of this stuff you almost have to get the product and kind of look at it and get an idea of how that all works. So we do encourage you to maybe get some of these installed, get acclimated to the different ways that it does install. But similar to the side installation, you're going to notice that there's markings on that bracket again to adjust to the T-grid system that's needed, which is another nice feature as well. Now, besides the T-grid recess application, we are also going to be offering solutions for a drywall ceiling. So as you can imagine, there are so many different ways that you can install this thing and so many different types of materials you can install it on. So I think we're getting close to the end of all of these different solutions for mounting. But for drywall ceiling specifically, we will offer a mudding kit for a kind of more of a discreet look to the luminaire within the ceiling, and it will also be offered in a flange kit with trim solution as well. For both of these kits, the length of the brackets and the quantity of the mounting kits will vary based on the length of the luminaire as well. But either way, if you're doing a drywall ceiling, it's going to look really nice and clean at the end of the day. Then we, of course, have the wall mounting. There are 2 kits available for this as well. For a basic wall mounting option, simply use a static wall bracket. If you're not sure of the angle that you need, take note that the wall mount features a rotatable bracket with markings to maybe basically mark what degree of rotation that you need. Assuming 0 degrees is perfectly parallel to the wall, you can then rotate the luminaires 50 degrees up or 50 degrees down to get it to exactly where you want it. Now, of course, different applications, you may need different optics. That is why there are 5 different lenses that we also offer. The opal lens is the default or the standard for each product. So if you need a baffle lens or a louver lens or a black or white or a honeycomb lens or a microprismatic lens, they are all offered in all 3 lengths. If you have a linear run for products where you like a continuous run of lenses, you may also request a pre-cut length via MTO option, which is also available. Now, to put this into perspective, the different effects that these lenses have, just note the distribution in this polar candela distribution plots below on the slide. You can kind of see how the light is coming out of each one of these lenses. And it's just really important to consider this because you want to make the space be what you want it to be, right? So certain lenses are going to enhance the space in different ways. So that's why we have all these different lenses, and this is why we want to talk to you about this rather than always going with the traditional one. There might be a reason that you may need to go with something else. And as I mentioned, here are the non-MTO and the non-PTO NAID codes. Please refer to the spec sheet for all specifications. So I'm going to pause here just because there was so much information about the linear slot. And Anna, our product manager, is on this call. Anna, would you mind maybe either clarifying anything that wasn't quite clear, or number 2, answering any questions that may have come through?
Yes. Well, I'm surprised that with all the mounting options we have, there's still questions on something we didn't have. So the stem suspension, we currently do not have that. If it is something that you're consistently seeing pop up, reach out to me. We can talk about it. Um, and there was also a question on the IS files for the slot connectors. We do not have those as of right now. We are also, and I just want to make a note, what you see on the screen here is only a subset of what we're offering. There are a slew of items that are made to order, purchase to order, combinations that we haven't created model numbers for yet. So it's continuously being added to. So just make sure to always double check what the latest spec sheet is. And then there is a complimentary brochure that goes with the spec sheet for more visual pictures of the accessories and things like that as well.
So for additional technical information, please visit LEDVANCEUS.com. There was so much information that we put in there. Anna did an amazing job putting together a training video that you can find right through our website, through our Level Up product videos. You're going to be able to find all kinds of product videos, but you can scroll down and look at the performance class linear slots. So definitely go there. She's got actually in that video has all the parts and the pieces and the components, so you can get a little bit better idea of everything that we have. So we encourage you to take a look at that. And it's, like I said, a way more detailed. Okay. All right, next up is a line extension, which is the new volumetric troffer 7B. That's this guy right here. At first glance, you may find that the 7A and the 7B are pretty much the same, but there are some really cool improvements to the 7B, which makes it really stand out. But before we deep dive into the 7B, it is worth noting that this is simply a new generation that is offered in addition to the existing offering. So I've got them side by side next to me, 7A, 7B. They pretty much look exactly the same. Well, they do look the same. All right, so based on the application requirements, you can choose which one you need, which is perfect. As I mentioned, this is a 7B. It is perfect for offices, hospitality applications, schools, healthcare, many commercial areas. It is UL, FCC, RoHS, DLC listed, is also backed by that 5-year NLB trusted warranty. These are available in 120 and 347. They do include 3 wattage selections and 4 CCT selections. The 1x4 and the 2x2 provide up to about 3,750 lumens, while the 2x4 provides up to 4,375 or 5,625, depending upon where you set the wattage selector switch, and also up to 125 lumens per watt. There's also an optional EMBB too. The other nice thing about this product is that it is suitable to get LLLC. So if you are in a market where you need luminaire level light control, this will provide you with that need. And it also means typically it can sometimes equal greater incentives and greater rebates too. And the reason that it achieves LLLC, this particular one, is because the link fixture controller, our network lighting control fixture controller, is embedded in the driver. And so that's how we can achieve LLLC on this particular product. As I mentioned, the LLLC is extremely important. It could potentially equate to larger incentives. Additionally, because Link is embedded in the driver, it means you can group and zone your luminaires. You can do dimming, you can set schedules, you can change your CCT, you can set circadian rhythm as well. And you get all the other great features of using a free, using the free app. And that basically just happens on either your phone or an iPad or an Android device, but the app is completely free. Now, this does also feature an optional push-in link sensor with PIR technology. That sensor also has daylight harvesting, which can be enabled or disabled in the field using the app. The way that you install it is super easy. All you have to do, take a flathead screwdriver, pop this cover off. That will then expose a wire harness. Wire harness comes out. You take the sensor here that has this little plug here, and you simply connect the two together, and then you push it back into the slot. It's a neat design. It's a quick design. You don't necessarily need to be an electrician to do it. You can add it at any time as well. And again, this sensor is easily field installed. It adds occupancy or vacancy if you include a wireless wall controller or some sort of controller. And you also can enable or disable the daylight harvesting as well. Again, all using the app. Now, this has really superior construction too. It does include the PMMA plastic lens, which is really great for that optical clarity. And it also has the steel housing, which basically equates to corrosion resistance and durability, which are really important with lighting and luminaires today. Now, as we deep dive a little bit further into the 7A and the 7B, as much as I love to turn these on for you, it's not going to work. I tried it. It's just going to be a glare bomb for you. That's just what happens when you do it on a camera that's recording you, right? So in this photo, though, it does a pretty good job to kind of explain the difference between the two of them. So the 7A has exposed LED chips on the PCB board, whereas the 7B generation has the optical lenses over each LED chip. This helps distribute the light more evenly. Despite having the identical technical specs, the big difference is the UGR rating. That is Unified Glare Rating. The 7A meets the strict requirements of a UGR less than 22, which meets DLC Premium, where the UGR rating for the 7B is higher, so it does not have that DLC Premium. And that's really the biggest deal. And you're going to see that with multiple manufacturers. It's not just us that kind of has this like line down the center. It is basically really led more by DLC and being able to achieve that UGR rating that you need to achieve for DLC Premium. The combination of the frosted PMMA lens and the optical light control film really helps control the direct light and kind of direct the light more effectively. and it also provides better illumination, and it also reduces glare, and that basically is there to meet the DLC premium requirements. So for the 7A generation, the lens again consists of that PMMA. The 7B only has the frosted PMMA lens or PMMA diffuser in it. Now here are the NAID codes, and of course, scan the QR code for more details. Moving on, we have another line extension, and just similar to what I just talked about, we've got the Troffer 7B for new construction, but then this one is the Troffer 7B for retrofits. Now, as you look at our retrofit door housing kit lineup, we have a number of options. Some with a 3-piece design, some with a 5-piece design, and of course, one that is not shown, which is the easy swap featuring just 1 piece. The idea behind a retrofit door housing kit is that you can easily upgrade your existing fixtures without having to get into the ceiling cavity, which is a great thing. So the newest retrofit door housing kit is the 7B. That's this one right here on this side. The 7A is over here. As you can see, all of these are very similar, right? And keep in mind, this is a line extension. So it's just giving you a ton of options when it comes to retrofitting. So we'll still have the 7A, and then we'll also have the 7B. So again, why do people like retrofit door housing kits? It's because they are perfect for areas where you're unable to expose the ceiling cavity, which is really good for hospitals. Most of LEDVANCE's retrofit door housing kits feature a less than 10-minute installation, some even as little as 5 minutes or even under 5 minutes. These are also perfect because they also reduce job site disposal costs. So like the new construction Troffer, this retrofit door housing kit is also UL, FCC, RoHS, DLC listed, and is also backed by a 5-year NLB trusted warranty. These are available in your 120 to 347 option, including the 3 wattages and also the 4 CCTs. The 1x4 and the 2x2 also go up to about 3,750 lumens. And just like the other one, the 2x4, depending upon what you set it at, 4,375 or 5,625. And again, you're coming in at about up to 125 lumens per watt. There's also the optional EMBB. And just like I showed you on this one here, it's the exact same thing for the retrofit door housing kit. You can easily add a sensor, and it also classifies as a luminaire level light control, because the fixture controller is embedded in the driver when you buy that product. And so again, everything is exactly the same from a controls perspective, from the new construction to the retrofit kit. And also very much similar is a superior construction. It does include that PMMA plastic lens, great for that clarity, for optical clarity, has that corrosion resistant, durable housing. And for this one, there's the installation, because it is a retrofit door housing kit. It does consist of 4 mounting brackets and the door housing. So I guess you could say it's a 5-piece design, because you get 4 brackets and then the door housing. And this just basically helps to ensure that the product remains in place after installation. So it's kind of nice having those extra brackets in there. And here are the NAID codes and QR code for the easy access to the spec sheet. Moving on, our next product is another line extension. And this time we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite. No, actually they're not. They're not everybody's favorite. All right, but we have to sell them because there's a whole bunch of CFLs or CFLs that are out there that we need to get rid of, and we need to start replacing them with things like this. So these products are the deluxe LED-lescent and the dual-lescent. These are pin-based CCT selectable lamps. As you can see some of the switches here on the side. Now, this is a great expansion of LEDVANCE's LED pin-based lamps, which are designed to replace your traditional compact fluorescent, non-integrated lamps. And they have very similar characteristics as far as MOL goes, which is maximum overall length. So that's nice because you don't have to worry about them like sticking out of the luminaire or the fixture when you go to install them. They look nice. Also, as more states are going to go into regulations for having to upgrade, as I mentioned, from fluorescents to something like this, we have you covered because we have so many options. Now, this particular launch does include 8 new SKUs or item numbers. We have 6 of the dualescent options, which is the type A or type B or type A plus B. And we have 2 lead-lescent, which is the type B installation. And that one features a high wattage and high lumen options. Now, all of these, as I mentioned, are all going to be or will come with the CCT selectable options. You have 3 CCT selectability for the 9-watt omnidirectional lamp. This allows you to choose from 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. The second option is a 4 CCT selectable, allowing you to choose from 27. This one here is actually this one, 27, 3,000, 35, or 4,100. And for the lower wattage omnidirectional and the ultra thin, check out how thin these guys are, super thin, right? For the ultra thin horizontal lamps, you have the 27, 3,000, and 4,000 K on these as well. So just to repeat that one more time, 4 cc selectability, allowing you to choose from 27, 3,000, 35, and 41 for the lower wattage omni and ultra thin horizontal lamps. And then you also can choose from 3,000, 35, 4,100, and 5,000 K for the 15 watts and the 17 watt high wattage omnidirectional lamps. My suggestion is just look at the spec sheet. Anyway, the lamps may also fit into many other applications. So the suffix that you get on these, the lamps are really not that meaningful for LED. So if you're using this lamp, such as a non-directional replacement, just remember to always check the fit just to ensure that it's going to go into that existing fixture. You might want to also check the lumens because form, fit, and function is important. And we just want to make sure that these lamps are going to be suitable for you. And in most cases they are, because these are really meant to be able to replace those existing luminaires that you or replacement of the current lamps that you might be using. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the additional features. So besides the CCT selectable options, additional features include that form factor that fits into many applications and can be a direct replacement to those traditional pin-based lamps that we said, which is super important now because of the legislation requirements, right? These also have a frosted plastic exterior. Dimming is also a big thing. So specifically for item code 42507, which is the 9.5 watt that has the G224Q base, it is dimmable when operated as a type A, when paired with select compatible electronic dimming ballast. That's important. This lamp is the only one in the existing and new portfolio that operates on an electronic ballast as a type A. All the other lamps operate on magnetic ballast when operated as type A. So just one more time, this lamp is the only one in the existing and new portfolio that operates on an electronic ballast as a type A. There is also a lot of flexibility when it comes to installation. You've got the either type A, which is your direct replacement on compatible electronic ballast, or you have the type B direct wire to line voltage 120, 277 to avoid incompatibility and any ballast maintenance, because you don't have to use the ballast, you bypass the ballast. And again, for that ultra thin lamp, the lamps are not limited to horizontal. They can be used in a base down operation as well. And this basically just provides you with more installation options too. All right. The other thing too is the ultra thin lamps with the CCT selector switches. You're going to find that the switch for the CCT is located on the top. So in case you're used to seeing it on the side like we normally see, it's actually on the top right here. All right. And that's for the ultra thin one. Now, something else to consider is that the LED 2-pin lamps can work on a 4-pin lamp socket, but in order for that to work, you must also install it as a type B ballast bypass. Now, there are reasons for this, and the reason for this is because 2-pin lamps will not work on electronic ballast. So in order to use it in a 4-pin socket to replace, say, a 4-pin electronic lamp, you must bypass the ballast with the exception of item number 42507. So in summary, two-pin lamps operate as type A are compatible with magnetic ballast. 4-pin lamps operating as type A are compatible with electronic ballast. That's the key consideration there to keep in mind. Now, our leadlescent and dualescent, which again are the type B and the type A plus B, are definitely growing with this line extension. Having these available in various socket configurations, omnidirectional and horizontal options, as well as CCT selectable options. And now, of course, with the G24Q 4-pin base, UL A plus B, which is great. They're also compatible with electronic dimming ballast. It's a complete game changer. You are also going to notice that all lumen and CCT selectables, the H versions, have no switch on the bottom of the lamp, while the ultra thin lamps, the CCT selector switch, again, is on the top of the lamp. So keep that in mind too, which I showed you during the last slide. And these, of course, are the 8 new product NAID codes and a QR link to the specification sheet. And just a little side note, the 42503 is the 13-watt single tube replacement, and the 42504 is the 13-watt double replacement. Those are pretty common. All right, least but not last. Our next new product for this launch is a line extension. So not brand new, but line extension. And it is the dualescent 8-foot lamp. Now, this is a type A plus B lamp. It is also UL certified, RoHS, FCC, backed by a 5-year trusted warranty, and is excellent for a number of existing locations currently using 8-foot lamps. Now, these are 42 watts. They are available in a T8 or a T8HO. They do have a frosted, I'm going to try to get this out here. You know, the problem with these, sorry, is that they're just really awkward. Anyway, so as I was saying, these are a 42-watt lamp. They are available in T8 or T8HO. Frosted glass lens. They also have a PET coating. Depending upon the lamp, it either ships with an F8A base, or if it's the HO, they have both the F88 and the R17D base included in the box, which is a beautiful thing. They are also fixed CCT of 4100K or 5000K, or a 4 CCT selectable option, allowing you to choose from 35, 41, 5000, or 6500 in the field. All of them provide 5000 lumens and up to 119 lumens per watt. You're going to notice, you can see here, 2-pack design. This one here clearly states daylight. The other one, it will show here the 4 options on the nice packaging that we have: bright white, cool, daylight, and daylight deluxe. All right, so that gives you your options for that as well. So additional features include not only energy savings, but these are also excellent solution for lamps that are also being phased out due to legislation requirements. These, of course, contain no mercury, making them ideal for upgrading fluorescent fixtures if you've got T12s and T8s that you're currently using. Now, since this is an 8-foot lamp that is a type A plus B, it does work with existing compatible ballast or line voltage. So if you have a ballast, maybe that's just a few years old, you can keep them as long as you check dimming compatibility, the ballast compatibility. And you also want to use as a type A, that of course, then you have to definitely check your compatibility, right, with your ballast. And then when the ballast begin to fail, you can then move on to a type B without having to replace the lamp. You just have to, at that point, replace the ballast or bypass the ballast and do a little bit of wiring. But that's the glorious thing about a type A plus B. Okay. Now, this does allow for flexible installation options, either type A direct replacement on compatible drivers, or ballast, or type B direct line 120/277. On 2 items that we offer the base changing capability, those are item number 42351 and 42352, which means it includes a single pin F8A with optional recessed double contact R17D base. If you're not familiar with those bases, look right here on the slide. You'll be able to see the difference between that. Additionally, the 42353 has 4 CCT selectable options, allowing for field adjustability of 35, 41, 5000, and 6500K, which can, of course, aid in inventory and greater job site flexibility. Now, the shatter-resistant PET coating is really nice because if it does happen to get a hit, the glass will basically stay intact. And so it's nice to have that feature too. And the form factor of these two follow the fluorescent ANSI dimensions to avoid any issues with any problems with installation. So making it a little bit easier to install. Now, this new 8-foot lamp does a great job of rounding out LEDVANCE's product offering. And just a quick reminder, we do offer UL Type A plus B, which features the 2 lamps in one with the capability of easy plug and play with listed compatible ballast as a UL Type A install, or you can use it later by bypassing the ballast. It's also important to ensure that the contractor doing the installation does use the included warning sticker when they go to install it as a type B. Most people who use it as a type A, they throw that little label out. But when you get to a point where you have to upgrade it to a type B, you really need that little label in there. So keep that in mind. Don't toss it out. There are 3 item numbers in this line extension, 2 of those being static CCT, the other being selectable, as we talked about. The CCT selector options does not come with the changeable ends. That's the easiest way to remember it. And lastly, these 8-foot lamps come in a 2 lamp package, as I showed you, but 1 item number. And here are the 3 NAID codes for these 8-foot lamps, along with the QR code for the spec sheet. So don't forget to scan that as well.
We hope you enjoyed this Power Through launch training. Be sure to scan the QR code for your certificate. You can also send any questions regarding this PPT or quiz to LightPoint Midwest at ledvance.com.